Hello, YouTube and
Hello.
Facebook. We're getting ready to record episode 243. So I think we're going to get right in that because we got a special guest tonight. And so we'll go ahead and intro it, and then we'll intro him, and then we'll go through all the fun stuff. And it's going to be a fun
Yes.
night on iamGEEK. You guys ready?
Yes,
Here we go in 3. You're recording, right?
I am
'Cause
recording.
mine
Yes.
doesn't work. 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to iamGEEK, and this is episode 243. I'm Ryan, joined by my brother Chris and our good pal
Heyo.
Katrin. And tonight we have a very special guest. He is so cool that he is "the" in front of his name. That's all I'm going to say. The Derek Frank is with us. Derek, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm a big fan of the show, and I think Ryan will probably tell about my reaction when I found out that we were in the same room.
Yes, I was very surprised.
As we all were when we
Right.
heard.
Yeah, and it was genuine. Like it was a real reaction.
He made my he made my weekend. We'll tell that story in a minute, but first let's get the news, let's get the stuff up front. We'll do that, and then we'll dive into all the fun stories that we're going to share tonight. We are going to be at Comicpalooza this
Next
weekend, right?
Next weekend.
15th through the 17th. We will be there. All of us will be there the 16th and the 17th. If you don't know what Comicpalooza is, it is a pop culture convention in Houston, Texas, and we will be doing a live show and then be on another Star Wars panel. So we'll be doing our live show on Saturday at 4 o'clock on the show floor, I think, right? On the stage on the show floor.
The people.
Yeah, amongst the people. We're going to go back. We were trying to think of what to do, and we could talk Star Wars, we could talk Marvel, we could talk all these things that would make sense at a pop culture convention. But then I was like, everybody's going to be doing that, so let's do something different. Let's jump back in our time machine, go back to, what was it, episode 40?
It was episode 40, yes.
Yeah, of iamGEEK, and we talked about something, a treasure hunt. It's called The Secret, and it's actual treasure that's buried throughout the United States. And there's actually one in Houston. So we're going to dive, that's still buried, that you can still find. And we're going to Indiana Jones this thing, and we're going to talk about it and just sort of the cool treasure hunting stuff that you can actually
my
do.
shovel.
Oh, you should.
I'm sure that's allowed into the Comicpalooza.
I think you could bring a shovel.
They just got to put like a little tag on it.
You just have to paint the end of it orange, and then you could take it in.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. So just a shovel. I could bring a whip, right? For Indiana Jones?
Sure.
Yeah.
I paint the tip orange?
Yeah. Not a gun, but no.
For conventions like this, as long as you paint the tip of it orange, you can bring in whatever you want.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, and they'll put a little tag on it.
I don't think
that's true. Are you sure?
We
should
could
try
try it. Yeah, there's different things, and just keep going back through the line and be like, see what we can get through. And
yeah, I'm even going to paint the tip of my keys to my car orange and be like, "Don't worry,
they're okay."
They're okay. They could be used as weapons.
I'll do both hands orange because they're lethal weapons.
Anyway, yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So we'll be there doing that, and then Sunday at 2 something. We'll be on a Star Wars celebration panel and talking about Star Wars. We're not sure what we're talking about yet, though.
Star Wars.
For that. Yeah, Star Wars. But anyways, so join us at Comicpalooza. We're going to have fun. There's many guests there. They're more famous than us.
People from The Boys and Hawkeye and Echo and Twin Peaks and Dune and Doctor Who. Some anime voice actors. Thank you. I couldn't think of it. Voice actors. And all kinds of panels for different things.
The Magicians.
Yeah, the Magicians. Yeah, that show. There's going to be people from there.
Yeah.
Video game tournaments.
Cosplay contest.
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper's going to be there.
Alice Cooper will be there. That's who I'm sort of excited about going to see.
So lots.
Yeah. And there's robot fighting.
Yes. Super excited about that. The Robotica. Right?
Yeah. And professional wrestling. So it's going to be fun.
And
we may be dressed in
wrestlers
costume.
Fighting robots, I hope.
That would be great.
So.
Lots of blood and guts.
They've done that before in wrestling. Professional wrestling. They had way back in the WCW days when RoboCop came out. RoboCop came and joined forces with Sting, and they wrestled.
He's not a
And
robot.
Some other people.
Shot Hulk Hogan? I don't know.
I don't remember, but it happened. Look it up. It happened. RoboCop was in professional wrestling. Anyways, okay, so that's Comicpalooza. We'll be there. Hope to see you there if you're in the Houston area, or if for some reason you want to fly down to the Houston area,
Like me.
or yeah, like you, or have your car drive you down like Chris does.
Yeah.
So,
And we've had some
He
friends
has a
that'll be there
Tesla.
too. Princess and the Scoundrel will be there from
Princess and the Scoundrel will be there
on
yeah,
YouTube
guests.
and podcast, and they're going to be there as media. They're going to cosplay and join all the things.
It's gonna be fun. All right. The story of how I met Derek.
Did you open a children's book just now? Is
Yeah,
that what happened?
There was a children's book.
There were several children's books. There's a conference last year that I went to called The Thane Live. And if you don't know what it is, look it up, thethanelive.com. But they did, which is usually in Orlando, but they did a special weekend, couple day edition called, I'm going to get this wrong, Stages, Pages, and Wages.
You got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
In Nashville, and I was invited to come up by the main man, Terry. And so I came up with my wife, and my wife spoke at it because they didn't want me speaking at it. For being honest, she's way more smarter than me.
She knows words.
She knows words, and obviously I don't. So we came up, and I was sitting there. This cool guy gets up on stage. Actually, we had some time to spare between people speaking, and Terry just said, "Who wants to come up on stage and not roast you, but basically
kind of." It was kind of like, yeah, it was like describe like what's holding you back right now with the thing you're trying to do. So I was like, I'll do it. It's fine. So he came up and he was talking, and I don't even remember what I said, but I responded to something you were saying. And I said, "Oh, I think we're friends on Instagram. I'm Ryan from iamGEEK." And his jaw dropped. Just went. I'm like, what did I say wrong?
You interrupted me.
It was so exciting because it's great, like having you guys out there and having other adult males that are into the same things you. Also, like being in the same room and being isolated for so long with the pandemic and everything, having like-minded people is it's such great energy, and it was so exciting. Plus, like I really wanted to ask you about like the Kyber crystals that you make, and I was like, because I still need to order them. I forgot, but like as I'm getting ready for another Disney trip, I'm like, oh, I've got to order those because they're so cool. Oh, thank you. So it was cool. It made my whole weekend. I was just like, oh, someone knows who I am. Because usually when I say I'm from iamGEEK, they go, "Oh, so you do like IT work or something?" And I'm like, "No, that would require me being smart."
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that was cool. So yeah, the Thane Live, check it out. Are you going to be there in October? I mean, November? I'm hoping to. It kind of depends on cruises, and so I do a lot of music festival cruises, and I'll probably be getting off of one in LA at that time. So it'd be close. That's why I had to miss the last one in Orlando. Well, I think we're going to be there. Well, we're definitely going to be there. I think my wife's speaking again. Again, he didn't ask me to speak.
Not asking you to speak.
No. But it's in Orlando, so that means Disney. So I'm like all about it, and Star Wars. And so I think we're going to bring the whole family and just go to Disney, which will be fun. Nice.
Oh, you're taking me to Disney?
The whole family.
Yeah, meet us at the airport.
Whole family.
Meet us at the airport.
My wife and I did that. We took both sides of our family. 12 people.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh.
Oh,
That was fun getting dinner reservations for.
Oh, yeah, that was just a lost cause. We couldn't even attempt that. And like her family had never been, and my family, grew up going all the time. So it was it was a good trip, but it was stressful to say the least. Plus, we had to leave early because of a hurricane, and
Ooh.
it was all good.
That's always the fear, right? You get down there and you've got all these things planned. It's like, you're watching the weather and you're just like, no, please, no.
Yeah. Now me, like, I'm always the guy like, let's just hunker down because if you're at the hotels when a hurricane hits, you get to just stay and they take care of you.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything extra and they feed you and it's like the safest place in Florida to be.
Yeah, for sure.
My wife's always like, oh, we've got responsibilities.
No.
Yeah.
They can wait.
Do we?
Not right now. We're at Disney.
It all just goes away.
Yeah, all
Waits
the
for you to come
responsibilities.
back.
Yep.
So, Derek, you are a music industry insider. This is what I'm just getting off here. You too. And an artist relations manager. Tell us a little bit, make it clear to all of our listeners what it is that you do, and then we'll talk some geeky stuff.
Yeah, so for my real people job, like I like to call it, I usually describe it as a professional cat herder. I do artist relations, but what that means is I work for a company that makes music instruments. And my job is to get these musicians and famous or influential musicians and get them to use our products and then talk about it and then generate content. And there's a lot to it, but I work with all kinds of huge famous artists, anywhere from Chris Jansen to Steven Tyler and all kinds of people in between, and a lot of people you wouldn't expect. So I think that's the shortest version of what I do.
And that's why he's on tonight, because he wants us to,
Use his
talk about some of his instruments.
Oh, I thought we were forming a band or something.
Well, that'd be way more fun. Like, like Max Sabbath kind of thing.
Let's do it. Yes, we're forming a band. Katrin, we're getting the band back together. That's how Katrin and I, we were in a band in college.
Couple of bands.
Couple bands.
Couple bands.
Yeah. Way back in the day. Anyways, long
I can't
ago.
carry a tune in a bucket, so
No.
I don't know if I have enough instruments or not to
Right.
handle it.
I don't know. I'm still just amazed you live at the Guitar Center. I love it.
And like, you can't see the whole room, but it's a full production studio. And what's really cool, if people have to go on like my socials and see, in front of me, I've got these two massive monitors, and then I've got a 50-inch touchscreen that I built in front of me. So you want to talk about geek? I made my own touchscreen, and I made a video on how you can do it for under $400. So if anybody wants a massive touchscreen, it's really simple to do.
Nice.
Cool.
Huh.
So what do you
Smarter
do with
than
this
us.
touch screen?
He touches it.
Oh, got it.
It doesn't do anything. It's just
Yeah,
I can do that for under like $5. I can make a piece of wood on the wall and say, touch it.
Yeah, so it can do 10 individual touch points. So I use it for my recording software where like I've got all my faders and I can just like move faders and turn knobs on the screen. It's completely unnecessary, but I really love it. It's fun to do
Definitely
Google Maps with it because you can just be like,
Nice.
You're like
That's awesome.
one of those like Hawaii 5-0 or one of those cop shows where they come into the room, and then they have the big touch screen that they see all the
I can zoom into everything.
yeah, and like all the lights are automated in here. So like I just yell at them and they'll change colors. I don't want to do that because like I hate when people on YouTube like say, the A word or the Google phrase. And then like my stuff in my house just starts going crazy. My thermostat changes and it's now like the heat's on. And I
don't mind. Hey, Alexa, turn the lights off.
He's got his ears on. He can't.
No, I mean for the people listening.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Whoever's
okay.
listening.
He just likes to
But
mess
one
with
of
people.
them you can change it to like computer. I think it may be Alexa. You can tell it. You can say, "Hey, computer," instead of the other word, and then it will.
Oh, so it's like Star Trek.
But you can't just name
computer.
anything. It's just there's certain words that you can choose from to avoid those sorts of things. Because if you have somebody named Alexa in your family, it's like, "Hey, Alexa." Oh, and,
Yeah, my cousin Google gets really confused.
that's right.
So you work with or you own? Tell me about the ukulele.
Yeah, so
company?
one of the brands, so the company I work for is called KHS America. We own like 20 different brands of music instruments. And one of those, I represent 5 of those brands. It's Hohner, so like Hohner harmonicas and accordions, Hercules stands, which are the best guitar and microphone stands in the business, H. Jimenez Latin stringed instruments, and Lanakai ukuleles. Yeah.
Cool.
Y-
I think
I have
I've heard
some
of all of those.
Yeah.
We were talking off air. You
Yeah.
had a ukulele in a TV show. Is that right?
Yeah, it was in WandaVision
What?
in the episode, the black and white episode where the boss comes over and he's playing a Lanakai. So I like to tell our artists like they're basically Avengers.
Crazy. That's so fun.
Yeah, and it's always a thing like when like TV shows or things like that use your product, they do what's called Greeking, and they'll usually like tape over the logo or take the
Sure.
logo
Yeah.
off. They didn't take it off. They left it on there.
Oh,
So that
cool.
was that's a huge
Yeah.
boost.
That
For
is
sure.
cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm basically an Avenger now.
I have to go back and watch that.
I know.
Be like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is the boss looks identical to my boss.
No way.
I mean,
That's awesome.
they could be dead ringers. And the other crazy part about my boss and his Disney connection, his uncle, his last name is Goldenson. His uncle was the president of ABC that started
Oh, wow.
working with Walt. And so he was the person that started like Monday Night Football and all of the stuff with Walt and basically funded Disneyland.
Wow. That's
It's
cool.
a small world.
After all.
After all.
After all, yeah.
Oh, I set that one up pretty easy.
Mhm. Yeah. And we answered in a round. It was nice.
Yes. Yes.
It's like an echo.
Now you also used, I don't know if you still are, but you used to be a touring musician too.
I used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
I got burnt out, so I
It,
I
it
left
does
the
that
road.
to you. Yeah. It
does.
does that to you.
It does, and I loved it. And it was great, and I don't really play live much anymore, which I might start again. Kind of getting the itch, but mostly I just do like studio stuff and producing and writing, which I don't even do that as much as I would like to, but have to do big kid stuff like
Yeah.
like buy Star Wars toys.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think I'm up to like 80 Star Wars pops.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I have a few Star Wars. I think I have the Mandalorian Star Wars pops. I have a few Star Wars pops, but I like Funko Pops, but I'm not a fan of bobblehead
Yeah.
Funko Pops.
And
And they're on the little stands too. And I'm just like, and I get why they did it because it was like a legal thing. They had to do it. But I like the non bobblehead pops. I've got a few behind me.
yeah.
I mean,
And I was never a big fan of the pop stuff, and then the Star Wars stuff started coming out, and
They're addictive. You get one, somebody gave me one, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I should get another one.
I've got that one. Yeah,
Yeah, I've got
that one
too.
I don't
I've
have
got
that one.
I've got some really cool ones. I think my favorite ones are the concept series ones that have like stormtroopers with lightsabers and Han Solo with a
Yeah,
those are
lightsaber.
cool.
Those are really cool. And then they
Mhm.
also did the comic ones, and those are the only
Yes.
ones I ever left in the box. The other ones I take out. I'm like, I don't want to leave them in the box. Actually,
Technically, you could put them back in the box, really,
and
you wouldn't know
I
the
don't care.
You wouldn't know the difference.
I went through that
Oh,
whole
they would
Beanie Baby
know.
craze. That didn't harvest any value.
Wait, what do you mean? They're not worth anything now?
I still have them. Ugh.
My retirement.
But yeah, I have my Disney ones behind me, and then I just threw these up on the shelf because I'm still redoing my office. So I was like, oh, I'll put Stranger Things and Ghostbusters up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, the
That's
only
a
one I have that's
thing right now.
not Star Wars is Powerline from Goofy Movie.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
You got to stand out.
Yeah, I'm a big Haunted Mansion fan, so I had to get all those when they came out. And then these are the water rides. These are all like water rides over here from Disney. So I got Jungle Cruise and Pirates and Splash Mountain.
We got the cast of Friends. Because my wife loves Friends. Specifically Chandler. She's in love with him.
Maybe her.
He once gave a ukulele to The person who plays Chandler, Matthew
Oh.
Perry. No, not really.
No.
I was
Yeah.
like, who did? Who gave
Well,
I didn't do
I
that.
just didn't want my wife to
just
hear
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding.
She will stalk you.
Yeah, like I always have like ties. It seems like what is it, the 7 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm usually like within like 2 or 3 degrees of just about anybody, but the Friends cast is just one I can't pin down.
Oh, they're not real. That's why.
I'm 1 degree from Kevin Bacon, technically.
Oh,
Wow.
So I worked on X-Men First Class, and he was in X-Men First Class. So
There you go.
Yeah.
it's there.
very nice.
1 degree. He doesn't know I exist, but it's fine.
He
I'm
probably
also 1 degree because he played one of our ukuleles.
well, there you go.
Nice.
I ate bacon the other day.
That's not the same thing, Brian.
That's all I got.
Close enough.
So you mentioned you were a musician. When you were a musician, did you? Well, I know you are still, but when you were a traveling musician, were you playing in your own band, like as you were like the lead, or were you with some other folks?
Yeah, so I actually went to college for drums and voice, but moving to Nashville, I was a frontman and mostly guitar player and singer, because I like attention. So it's hard to it was hard to talk to girls behind a drum kit.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, guitar's way lighter too, and
Portable.
doesn't take a lot of brain cells to play a guitar. That's not true. I'm sorry. But yeah, so
You
so
got
I,
yeah, that's true.
yeah, I had
That's true. I'm a guitar player. That's
yeah,
true. Does
but I mostly toured with my own band, and it was great. I loved it. It was successful. It was just got burnt out
Yeah.
and wanted to be home more and kind of figure out like the shelf life of a musician was really like closing in on me,
Sure.
especially like as my age and weight both went up. Like that shelf was getting very low.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, all right, let's be an adult now. We tried this dreamer thing.
That's kind of what happened to me. I mean, we were at this point where we graduated college, and it's like, okay, what are we doing with our lives? We're gonna keep doing this thing, or am I gonna use this college degree that I've got, spend all this time and money getting? And that's the path I chose. And Ryan did a little bit more with some other folks, and went a little bit longer than I did. But I certainly miss it. I think about it all the time. Like I'll, watching something on TV, and it's like, man, I really miss playing in front of people. I play guitar as well, but and really just the whole idea of it, and setting up and tearing down and having things working together and playing songs, right, and being with all those people or musicians. And so
yeah.
definitely miss it.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said about that too. And touring was a lot of fun, but also it's really lonely.
Mhm.
And I can understand how a lot of musicians get addictions. Now, like I don't drink when I play. I've never done drugs, so like I was pretty boring on the road, and I kind of like kept that with my band. They can be adults, they can make their own decisions, but on the same token, like we're here to work, and that's what we're gonna do.
Very cool.
And it was great. Like there was never any issues. I really don't think I have ever had an issue on the road with anybody.
Yeah, I went the church musician route, I guess. That's what you would call it, right? I was a worship pastor for many years and got to the point where I was like sort of burned out about it or with it. I was just like, I think I'm done for now. And then I traveled around doing it. I was like, well, I'll just travel around, do it on my own, get away from the politics. And then the pandemic hit, and then that shut that down. And I was like, well, I'm just not going to do this right now. And I don't think I've played my guitar in a year or so. Probably.
Oh no!
I know.
Like
I need to get it out.
You know what?
I was playing some of these earlier today because they get lonely and they tell me, and so I'm like, oh, okay.
That's why you keep them in the case,
Oh.
so you can't hear them.
I never keep guitars in the case just because if they're in the case, then you're less likely to play them, and I don't want them to suffocate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to put mine up or back out, so I'll play them. And
You need some Hercules stands, is what
That's
you
what
need.
it is.
I do. I wish I knew somebody
I
that.
think we
knew
might
better.
know a guy, and that's actually an interesting point too, because I do a lot of branding and helping people get endorsement deals or brand deals. So like you know, with everybody here being Funko fans, that, you know, it could be an opportunity where, hey, here's a pitch of how to talk to Funko. Although it's never going to happen. I met them at Toy Fair in Manhattan, and I'll leave it at that.
Way to get our hopes up there and just squish them.
But there's lots of opportunities to do stuff out there for anyone at any level. Like, you don't have to be a massive influencer or famous person to work with brands. And I think that's where people get afraid. They're like, what do I have to offer? I'm just a small channel, or I don't have a ton of followers. Well, if you have, like, say I have like a mega star that has hundreds of thousands of followers, and they maybe tag my brand once a year. They might play it all the time, but they only tag us once. And that gets, 10, 20, 30,000 impressions. Okay. But then I've got a smaller artist that tags us 3 times a week, and that gets, 700 impressions. That adds up and actually has a lot more reach and a lot more impact than that one post from the really famous person.
That's true.
Mhm.
Cool. So we need to get on that then.
Totally.
But not Funko, because Funko.
You can try. I just when and maybe it was because it was it was at a convention, and Toy Fair is, it's not for the public, it's to sell to stores. And I was there. We had some of our music products there. And I went up and tried talking to him about, hey, when are the new Star Wars Funkos? Because I can see, they've got them on display. They're not out yet. And I'm like, when do these come out? He's like, they go to dealers first. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I work in the music industry. Like, we don't sell direct either. We sell to dealers. And he's like, they go to dealers first. I'm like, yeah, when is that? So I can purchase your product.
Right.
Well, you can't buy them here. I'm like, I don't want to buy it here. I want to buy it when it comes out. Like, give me an answer.
I like that it sounds like you're talking to this guy like on the dock or something. He's been like spoken like a bunch of cigarettes. It comes in when it comes in.
Yeah. I mean, we were in New York, so it wasn't far.
Oh man. All right. So Hercules stands, everybody. Buy a Hercules stand. I'm just gonna put that out there.
And they have a lifetime warranty in the US.
Oh, there we go.
Better than
So
Ultimate.
if something happens.
Hercules. There we go.
Somebody had to do it. I was waiting. I was like, are we gonna get through this and no one does it?
I did it. I'm
Way to go.
that
Okay.
guy. All right. So you are a Disney fanatic,
Yes.
which means when you go to Disney, you scream like a little girl and pee your pants.
Pretty often, yeah.
Yeah, pretty often. All right. What got you into loving Disney? Now, is it the parks or Disney in general or
Disney in
everything?
general.
Okay.
But I really love the parks. As a kid, like my first vacation I ever remember, I was 6 and my brother was 11. And this was still when you could like put kids on an airplane and just send them somewhere. And so my parents sent me to Florida with my brother, just the two of us, and we met my aunt and uncle down there. And looking back, like, you can never get away with that now. There's no way. A 6 and an 11-year-old going through airports, and like we had a layover. But we went to Disney, and that was like the cool aunt and uncle. And so that trip really set it off. And then as I got a little bit older, my family went several years in a row, and then took a break, and then went a couple more years in a row. And those trips were so important because my dad owns his own business. He's a contractor, and it was, it's feast or famine when you own your own business. It's either if you have the money, you don't have the time. If you have the time, you don't have the money. So being able to go on those family trips to Disney, it meant a whole lot more than just being at Disney to me. It was more about like being with my family. So now every time I walk in the parks, especially like Epcot for me is the one that really does it. And of course Main Street, but every time I walk into Epcot, it's hard to like not get teary-eyed and remember those experiences.
Yeah. Right there with you. So do you have what's your favorite park?
Epcot.
Epcot?
Yeah. Even still, like,
Yeah.
I love old Epcot. I'm also not
yeah.
like, same with Star Wars and Disney are the same way. No one hates Star Wars and Disney more than Star Wars and Disney fans. So like, yeah, there's plenty of things I would change and I would have them do different and that I don't like, but I still love going. I miss the old like Future World area, and when you had all the interactive stuff and
Now
all
you have
the
Dirt
different
World.
ones. Yeah.
And
All it is right
and you
green
have
walls.
pavilions that are still sitting there that
Yeah.
aren't being used. And then every now and then they'll open up one of them for food and wine. And like, oh, you can see where you used to have fun as a child. Can't go there. You can't do any of that stuff.
So are you looking forward to when you go to ride the new Guardians ride?
I am. I'm really, really excited. I've had a lot of friends that have ridden it, so like, I'm getting pretty antsy.
Yeah, I want to ride it, but then I'm like, I get nauseous easily. So I'm like, oh, am I going to walk off and be one of the people that barfs as soon as you get off the ride?
I heard it's pretty common.
Yeah, they put up extra like trash cans around
They
and
move them
stuff.
closer to the exit. Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
Someone lost a retina or something.
What?
Right?
Oh,
they didn't lose it. They didn't lose
Did you
it.
lose a retina?
I don't know. It just happened.
They
Thanos
the,
took
the
it.
retina they got detached. The retina got attached.
Yeah, it was a
on it.
detached retina. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
don't
was
know.
spinning around and just
I
went
don't know.
flying.
He wanted to keep looking that way, and it was pushing him that way, and it's just
It's like when you try to sneeze with your
It's a
eyes
split.
open,
yeah,
pop out.
just gotta
Just
hold,
pop.
hold him in. Yeah.
I've heard that if you always just look ahead of you, don't try to look around on the ride. That when you start looking around on the ride, that's
Probably
when you start
so.
going, oh, here it goes.
see, I'm doomed then because I'm that kid. I'm that kid. I'm like,
Right. I've heard if you look down at the rails, that's what keeps you like, okay.
If you close your eyes
If
the
you
whole
just don't
time,
look.
you should be fine.
if you
Just
don't get
look.
on
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
pretend you did, yeah.
If you
I
just
think I'll
keep
be fine.
screaming, "I'm not gonna puke! I'm not gonna puke! I'm not gonna puke!" You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really loud. Yeah.
As
How
long
do
as
you
I don't
not
like
scream it?
get evacuated. Like the last time I went to Disney, I took my nephew, and I've got some vlogs, and we got evacuated on Rise of the Resistance, and it was actually it was cool, but it was also really bad walking past people eating their lunches, and like you waited in line. We rope dropped and went in, and we are in the car, and it shut down.
ah,
We got to come back and do it, but they evacuated us and got to see backstage, and backstage there is not cool. Very, very sterile. It looked like a doctor's office kind of thing, and there's people walking around eating their lunch, and they'd see you, and they kind of like scurry in one of the booths. No.
Was it like the stormtroopers just eating lunches? Just like
Yeah, but well, it was like all the
helmet just
cast
tipped up.
members. That would be pretty cool. Now, like I did have a cast member the first time I rode it. If you guys, has everybody ridden it here?
Chris
I have
hasn't.
not. I know kind of what happened. So it's
Okay,
whatever,
well,
it's fine.
when you get out of the amazing room with all the stormtroopers and they lead you out, they tell you what color to go on, and I'm so excited. I'm like, I can't hardly stand still, and the guy goes, "Go to the red section." I'm like, okay, well, I went on orange. It was reddish, I guess, and so he walks over and he goes, "I thought I told you red," and I go, "Oh, I'm colorblind." And I'm not. I'm not colorblind. And without missing a beat, he goes, "I fail to see where that's my problem."
Oh.
Me too. That's what you should have said. I can't
I was
see.
like, yes, at Disney. I got insulted at Disney. It was amazing. Just that he played the part so well, and it made it feel even more real, and everybody got a laugh out of it. It was
That's
great.
the best.
I got one of them
when they stay
break
in.
character.
Sorry, when they stay in character. That's the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
I got one to break character, and it was fun because they were all serious. And then I came through. It was before a dark saber was out. It was before anybody could buy a dark saber, and I made my Savis look like a dark saber. And I went through there, and the guy, he's like, all Imperial or whatever, not Imperial. What are they? First Order. See, I'm an old school Star Wars. And then he looked and he saw it, and his eyes got real big, and he said, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen." And he's like, "Oh, back in character." So yeah, but I love Galaxy's Edge. I love it. Just you feel like you're in a different world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to opening weekend at both parks.
Woo.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It worked out with a work trip for one of them in California, which is really kind of cool that like I can kind of plan work trips to
Yeah.
go to Disney events.
So you did the Savis.
Yeah, I've done that
What
twice now.
what did you think when you first experienced it?
The first time was opening weekend, and I didn't know that you had to have a reservation, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do it." I was so bummed, and my amazing wife walked up, and she was like, "Hey, is there any way you can get this grown man in here? Like, otherwise he's gonna cry, and you're gonna have a Disney breakdown. It's gonna be bad." And they're like, "Absolutely. Like, we can squeeze him in. Like, could you wait like an hour?" And just, "Yeah, an hour, no problem." So we went in, and it was incredible. It was so great, and you're teary eyed, and
Yeah.
it's the whole thing. And I walk out, and I'm waiting. It was when you still had to like wait in line to get into the other shops, and I'm standing there, and I'm like trying like choked up, trying to hold this back. And the guy behind me turns to his wife, and he's like, "I feel really stupid, but I feel like I'm about to cry right now." And I turn around and think, "Dude, thank you so much." Because and then it just like started this whole thing with the whole crowd because it was all pretty much grown men.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna just turn around and go, loser.
Nerd geek.
Now,
Yeah.
you were crying because of how much money you spent on the plastic thing. Right?
Yeah.
No, it's one of those expensive experiences that I would gladly do it every
Yeah.
time I went because
Yes.
I feel like the show is so good and the experience is so good that the lightsaber like is so minimal. I mean, it's really cool to have it,
Yeah.
but I think the experience is worth the money.
Yeah, it is. They do a great job with it. And they're coming out with new versions, new scrap metal to get. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
another
Well,
reason
that's
to do
why
it
they
again.
do it, Ryan. Suckers like you.
Yep, suckers like me.
It's scrap.
Yeah, when
metal,
my
shouldn't be that
nephew, when I took my
expensive.
nephew and he was making his this last time, I was like, "I just make one too," and they're like, "Sorry, we're full." I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah,
That made
my
that
son.
easier. Yep.
Have you
Yep.
done the droids? Made a droid yet?
I haven't made a droid. I have my heart set on that $25,000 R2D2. So I think making $100
Right.
remote control droid is not
gonna
gonna
fulfill
satisfy
that
my
need.
hunger.
No.
No.
They're
It's
fun.
pretty
We
cool.
made the
Yeah.
kids and I made. Yeah, they're
It's a
fun.
neat experience. It's certainly
Yeah,
nothing
like
like
them.
making a lightsaber, but you get a little bit of experience pulling this stuff off a conveyor belt and and putting it on together. But and it's here at the house.
They roam
fun.
around.
And-
I mean, they give me drinks and stuff.
No, that's
And if you dress up like you work at Disney, you can go in and steal one of those
What?
R2D2 units.
no,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's why I
guy.
did that.
Yeah.
Somebody try to do that.
no.
Yeah. And he would have
Did you-
gotten away with it
I've
too.
been for those.
Did you
If
know?
it wasn't for those pesky kids.
Yep.
Did you see why he did it? He wanted to work at Disney, and he thought that as in security, and he thought that would be a good job interview
I got
to say, "Hey, look how
Yeah.
easy it was for me to steal this. Let me work for you, and then I can beef up your security."
Probably
That's how it works
not.
in the movies. I don't know.
Yeah, a little, few fries short of a Happy Meal, as they say. As the kids say. Okay, do you have a favorite ride at Disney?
It's probably still gonna be Flights of Passage. And
Oh,
as far
cool.
as like amazing rides, and Rise of the Resistance is great, but if we're talking like straight nostalgia, I have to do it every time. It's Carousel of Progress,
Oh, cool.
and I'm excited to see the new
Yeah.
clothes in
Yes,
the
have new
the
clothes.
late '90s future scene.
Yeah.
Funny. When I saw the article,
Chris, you have to do that.
yeah,
New
when I
clothes.
saw the article, it said changes in the final scene. I was like, no more changes, But it was good. It's good changes, update the clothing. That's fine.
Yeah, they gave him a bath. Uncle
Yeah.
Orville finally
That's
got
right.
out of there to let someone else in.
Have you ever seen the inside of that bathtub? All it is like his head and like sort of to his shoulders and his arms, I guess, to hang out, and his leg or something, and the rest is just like this weird metal skeleton, and that's it. There's not like a full body in there.
The
It's-
future.
Very disturbing looking.
You take a bath, you have to take off all your skin.
Yes,
Oh.
take off your skin. The acid bath. On the carousel of progress.
Like if there was a ride that came to life, what would be the scariest one?
Many people think it would
Hmm.
be Small World because of the Kingdom Keeper series. Then that's the first book.
Small
Yeah.
World would
They
be
Yep.
come to life and bite
because
you.
there's so many of them. Because if you're on the boat and they come
Yeah.
to life, they're
Like
coming from all
cockroaches.
angles, from the ceiling, from the
I'm-
sides.
I you know, and I thought that too until we always do the after hours events because there's no one there. It's the best way
Yeah.
to hit everything. And we were at one of them and we rode pirates. And we were the only people in the ride. And I'm not talking like, oh, you know, there's people way down. No, there was no one else on the ride. And it was so silent that you were hearing things in the background that you've never heard before. And it started getting really creepy because the boat, like, you know, it's not being pushed along nearly as fast because they're not trying to get a bunch of people through. And it got to the point where you heard like people whispering in your ear. And I was like, if this ride breaks down, I'm jumping in the water and I'm running out. This is terrifying. And yeah, that was really scary.
Yeah.
I think I'd
was
go with
weird.
the teacups. The teacups, yeah, just spinning cups of death
They came to life.
coming at you.
The
Yeah,
teacups come
they
to
came
life?
to life. Yeah, spinning,
That's
Spit
different.
blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere.
That might be a scary one, right? If all those bears, I don't know, it might be fun. You know, if all the bears
Until they eat
until
you.
they
I don't
eat
know. If you saw the movie, it probably wouldn't be that great.
Yeah, no, it was horrifying. All the presidents, that would be kind of creepy too.
Yeah, there's a lot of those guys that belong.
Or
Gone.
407 years ago, I killed you.
They'd probably kind of lie though and be like, "I'm bolted to the ground. Someone help me! Ah,
Yeah.
it hurts. The pain."
Well, and with the Kingdom Keepers book, I felt like Disney missed a huge opportunity during the pandemic when no one was there to 3D map all of that. Like I was like, have one person at the park going around, and then everybody can watch and interact
Yeah.
and charge money. I would have paid money for that. Would have been just like the book.
That would be cool. I still want a live action movie, but that
or a TV
Probably never
series. I
happened.
mean, we
Or
we
TV
read
series,
all of
yeah.
the books that they had, and they were really great. And there's a lot of content they could have done, and I think they tried to, but of course they didn't. But and maybe one of these days, I don't
Let's make a petition.
do it.
Let's do it. Let's make it
Jake-
ourselves.
The JPEG one didn't do very well, but we can try with the book.
Oh, JPEG.
What-
She's listening.
Do you have a favorite restaurant? This isn't one we've asked at many people. Do you have a favorite
Ooh.
restaurant at Disney? This
go.
is a
Totally.
Disney
Tusker
podcast
House.
also.
Oh,
Tusker House.
Tusker
Yeah.
House. Now, if it's at the parks,
Yeah.
if otherwise it's what is Tusker House at Animal Kingdom? What is that called? It's the buffet. It's basically the same thing.
Boma.
Boma?
Yeah. Boma, Boma, Boma.
Yeah, Boma's.
Bomba bomba dang a dang
Ding
dang.
dong ding.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna-
Tusker House is my favorite.
Yeah,
And they
cool.
have that's a character meal, right? Or sometimes, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I've never
Yeah.
done that.
How about you guys? What's your go-to?
Oh, there's so many.
Now I am really upset that the boat, like at Hollywood Studios, that's in front of the theater, used to sell hot dogs, and they stopped selling hot dogs there. Now they're selling like
Oh.
salads.
That's
What?
boring.
Salads. Who wants
Yeah.
that?
And it was our favorite place to grab a hot dog because you get a hot dog and you see, everybody marching down and you get a
Yeah.
people watch. It was great.
Mm.
Now salads. You can't people watch and eat a salad.
Now it's not. It's probably not my favorite restaurant, but one lately, the past couple times that I've been, that's really stuck out. That's sort of become the hidden gem, is Mama Melrose at Hollywood Studios, because nobody goes back there, and you can usually always get in. but the food, it's like one of the best steaks I've had on property.
Really?
Hmm.
All right.
I was very impressed, but it's not my favorite restaurant. There's so many. It would be hard to pick what my
Well, you
favorite.
I
not-
like
okay.
sci-fi a lot.
Sci-fi is
Sci-fi
really
dining's
cool.
a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
At Disneyland, we liked going to.
We're not talking
I
about
forget.
Disneyland, Chris.
I'm just saying.
Hey, there's no
that's-
rules. I say
Yeah.
go
Just
for it.
kidding.
You just said Disney. I just heard
That's
the word Disney. Disneyland. I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's in that New Orleans kind of square outside of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Bayou?
Right there.
Blue Bayou?
Yeah, I think that's it. But like they had like beignets and like.
Oh no, that's just a little. Yeah, that's around the corner. Yeah. I
Well,
forget what
they in the restaurant. They at least when I was
Oh,
there,
did
they
they?
served beignets
Ah.
there too.
That's a nice
It
one.
was
Which
it
is
was really
probably
good.
going to be Tiana's restaurant coming up soon. I would assume.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know because it's inside Pirates of the Caribbean. Blue Bayou?
Yeah.
Is that the one you're talking about?
No, it's like outside. It's like outside there. We
Oh,
just
I have to
I
pull
don't
up a
know.
map.
I've only been to
Yeah, I have
Disneyland
to
once.
look. I can't remember them because you could watch like they would have like a Tiana parade that that went right outside there, so you could sit outside. You can watch this little kind of like
I think I know what you're talking
New
about.
Orleans band, whatever, play through.
Yeah.
No, one
Trader
of the-
Sam's at Disneyland is better than Trader Sam's in Orlando because they've got
Yeah.
food and stuff, and you can sit. It's still small, but they've got really good ramen there.
I think one of my favorite meals at Disney parks was at. It's probably, probably not even the same meal. You probably can't even get it now. California Grill. It's good. If you get up there when the fireworks are going off, watch the fireworks while you eat, and it's like super nice.
We haven't been to Disney World forever, but we always end up going to Polynesian. I know it's changed since we've been there, but
Yeah, it's changed big time. Very disappointed the next time you go.
we'll see. We're staying there one night, and we've got a
Food's way
Ohana's
different.
breakfast.
I say it's almost better, to go there because the hotel or the resort is amazing, right? Everybody knows it's an amazing place to be, and if you just want to go and be there, right? But you're staying there, so it doesn't matter. Just go to Captain Cook's, right, and get some quick service, get the full experience, right? Use the fancy
Their
bathroom.
wings are great.
Yeah, those wings look good. I want to try those.
Yeah, they are good. And there's a waiter / bartender in the outside area that looks exactly like is it Josh Gates?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
Maybe it is him.
Could be him.
I thought so.
It's where he goes in between, like gallivanting around the world.
If
Yeah.
you can't get into Trader Sam's there, they have an outdoor seating where you can get everything that you can get in Trader Sam's outdoors. And it's nice because they usually have somebody playing music out there by a waterfall. You can look out over the lake and stuff.
Oh
It's
no,
nice.
we're getting in.
Okay.
Well, our family's
You do.
favorite place right now, and we've only eaten there once, is Liberty Tree Tavern. Last time we were there,
Oh, it's good too.
we went there in 2020 during the pandemic in October when things had just kind of opened up and it was starting to get busier and all that. And we were trying to schedule it so that we were there because they closed early during that time. We scheduled it for like 8:00 or 8:30. Oh, we're gonna be there when everything closes down and we'll be able to walk everywhere. And there were still tons of people there. I guess we didn't take long enough to eat, but the food was really good. And
Yeah, it is.
we were pleasantly surprised, and so that's my wife said, we need to make sure we go there again. So I guess that's our current favorite. But you mentioned the sci-fi. That one I've done a couple times, and I really like that the idea of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It really feels like it's the 50s or 60s, whatever they're going for, and that you're at a drive-in or in somebody's backyard is what it feels like more to me than anything. But it's so cool, and just watching the old movies, and you kind of escape everything a little bit, just like going to Disney World. You go in there, and once you get on the stage, it really feels like you're getting away from things. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
you
have you
get
guys
the-
done the dessert part? Any of the dessert parties, like the
I
Star
have
Wars
not.
dessert party?
Mm-mm.
So I know you guys aren't big drinkers, but if there is anybody out there that does like to partake in adult beverages, I didn't know this. So when we did that huge family trip, my wife booked this for everybody. You know, it's like $70 a person, and I'm like, did you really spend that kind of money on us to eat some like cupcakes? She's like, well, like she's like, you're gonna have to check it out. It looked really cool. Like she's like, you love Star Wars and you get to hang out with all the characters. You get like special
Yeah.
interactions with them.
Cool.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but still like $70. And so I'm looking online and it's like, all you care to enjoy adult beverages. I was like, no. And so no. And so we go, and sure enough, like they did not discriminate at all. And
Huh.
I think I might have a vlog up of that, or maybe I have it hidden because it got a little rough. But we've done that several times. Because if you think about it, even if you're not going to indulge too much, if you have like they have like charcuterie stuff and every kind of dessert you could ever think of, but if you have like 2 drinks and that, it's totally worth the money. Plus,
Yeah.
the stormtroopers march you out in front of everybody, and you get your own viewing spot for the fireworks. It's incredible. It's
Do
one
they
of the
still do this?
Yeah.
I want to do this now.
Well, I think I don't know if they brought it
Probably
back
not.
yet.
Probably not.
Yeah, they
We
brought it
did the fireworks cruise over Bay Lake, and that was amazing, and it was free. So
Even better.
because, well, we've done it twice. One we paid for, but the first time we were walking through the Polynesian, and these 2, they look like lifeguards. These 2 girls, college age, walked up to us and said, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're like, "We're just walking through the
It goes
Polynesian."
multiple ways.
And they're like, "Yeah, this could go multiple ways." And they're like, "You want to go on a fireworks cruise?" And we're like, "Sure, that sounds fun." She's like, "Yeah, some people didn't show up, so we've got a boat that's ready to go, and we got food, and we've got drinks, and we've got everything on there." And we're like, "How much?" They're like, "Oh no, it's free. They didn't show up, so they already
Nice.
paid for it." And so
Wow.
we got a
I have
private
that
cruise.
kind of money.
I know, a private cruise on the lake there and watch the fireworks. And I'm like, well, that's pretty amazing. Disney magic.
Disney magic.
Now they probably wouldn't do that now.
They'll
They'd
figure
probably be
something
like, yeah,
else
why
out
not?
to get their money back.
Yeah.
We're just not going to do it. Or they scan your magic band and they still charge you.
Yeah. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. Star Wars. I know you're a big Star Wars fan. You can see it behind you. You can see it on your arm. Did you get that finished? Is it finished? Is your arm?
No, I still have to get the Death Star on the
cool.
elbow done and a little bit of shading, and it's just gonna hurt so bad. But yeah, so I've got Revan and I've got a Death Trooper up here. You can kind of see there's Revan, there's the Death Trooper, and then I've got Samurai Darth Vader on my forearm.
Nice.
So it's getting there. It's getting really close.
So if you get the Death Star on your elbow, if you were a pro wrestler, that would be the perfect finisher move.
It sure would. If it was the people's elbow, what would it be now?
Dead people.
Palpatine's elbow.
Yeah. Palpatine's elbow. So do you have a favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh yeah, all 3 of the new ones are fantastic. Yeah, I would probably say Empire.
Oh, okay.
I like Rogue One a lot as well. I know
Yes.
That one's
it's
good.
like it's love or hated with Rogue One, it seems like, but yeah, Empire is my favorite, and then probably Rogue One.
Cool.
Good choices.
I'm a Return of the Jedi fan. I think it's because it's the first one that I can remember seeing, like in the theater. So it's cool. I'm sure. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I saw Empire in the theater. I probably did.
I saw
don't know.
Empire in a
I'm old.
drive-through.
Oh,
was fun.
cool.
So I think that's my first memory. Star Wars.
I was
And-
not old enough for that yet.
And let's really drive people crazy. What's your least favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, that's just mean.
You don't have to answer that.
Oh, I'm answering it. It's got to be one of either the second or the third of the newest
He
ones.
doesn't even want to name them. It's so bad.
Yeah,
But
it's
they don't like the
like
names don't make any
Voldemort.
sense to me. Like they're
don't speak
they're
those
out
names
of
here.
order. Yeah, they're out of order. Like the names don't make sense. Like Rise of Skywalker, like they don't make sense with the flow of the movies. If anything, like I've seen other people like switch out the names and it makes way more sense. So, I think probably the second one. What is the second one? It's not Rise of
The Return
Skywalker.
of-
The last.
The Last
Jedi.
Last Jedi. Hopefully, it would have been the last one of those.
Oh, I hated that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
That's
it
the only
was
Star Wars
so-
movie that I left the movie theater and was like,
And-
man.
And
I
like
hate
visually, it was amazing. Like it was beautiful to
Sure.
see it, and so many things that they did. But like, why was Finn and Rose like? We all know, like it made no sense. You didn't even need the code breaker. It was a whole
it was-
wasted storyline.
the whole
Yeah,
movie.
It was just
wasted
it was
storyline.
a long, boring LA car chase in space. That's what the
Yeah.
movie was.
Yeah, and then the whole, Leia floating through space. Like, yeah, we know she's force sensitive. Like,
Mary Poppins, y'all.
yeah, save Admiral Akbar before you save
I know.
on.
Poor
The
Akbar.
trap. He knew. Gets it.
Which is funny. I have that poster on the wall because I really like the poster. It's one of my favorite Star Wars posters. The red with the blue with the lightsaber and it's got the faces. But the movie, I don't like it at all.
Well, and there's so many characters in all of them, all of the new ones that I love. Like,
Yeah.
I love Kylo Ren. I don't hate Rey. I really feel bad for was it John Boyega or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That played Finn. Like
Mhm.
he was doing an interview when he had to say the line of they fly now, and he was like, "Of course they fly. They were flying in Clone Wars."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't want to say this," and they still made him say it. That's tough because I felt like he had a lot of potential, and there wasn't much they could have done with the character with the way they wrote it.
To me, he was such a wimp. He wimped out on things a lot and like always running. Again, that was his character, I guess. But it just kind of whiny. But of course, at the end
He was the Shaggy.
he was shaggy.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Boys, run.
and like they could have done a whole lot more with Zori.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
5 minutes.
and maybe they will.
Yeah.
Maybe they will. But and Poe could have had a whole lot more stuff that could have made more sense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I still watch them because we got Star Wars content. It may not have been what we wanted, but I feel like no matter what they did, no one was gonna be happy. Like half people were still gonna hate it.
I've not watched Last Jedi
So
again.
do y'all think?
I've watched them all.
Do y'all think they will do more movies now that the shows are doing so well? Though I mean, like
Yeah, they're I think
yeah,
Taika Waititi.
Did you
That's
see
true,
what
I
he
forgot about it.
what he said? Did you see what he said to Natalie Portman?
Yeah, I saw that.
Eric, did you see what he said to Natalie Portman? He said, she said, and he might have been joking, but he said that she was like, "So what are you doing next?" Because they were on the new Thor movie, and he's like, "Oh, I'm working on this little Star Wars movie." And he goes, "Hey, have you ever ever wanted to be in Star Wars? I may be able to get you in." She was like, "I was in Star Wars. I was in the prequel." He goes, "Oh yeah, I sort of forgot about those."
But that's a great example of when those came out, everybody hated them. And now, like, people love them again, or love them now. I don't foresee that happening with the new movies, but maybe kids will. Like, you look back with Jar Jar, and you can say whatever you want. I wish they would have gone with the Sith Lord of Jar Jar, because Jar Jar was the Sith Lord. But he sold so much merchandise. That was the biggest merchandising thing, and so it was genius. And same thing with like the Porgs. And that was all because they had to disguise birds that were on the island when they were taping. So like, oh, we'll make this little creature. And they sold like crazy. And Babu Frick has 5 minutes and his merchandise is sold everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Patron's got one behind him.
yeah, I love Babu. Like I want Babu to have his own show. I want to see that show.
There's a new animatronic one at the Droid Depot that's pretty cool.
Real.
There we go. The favorite.
The ride is ready.
But you talked about like people liking those, and maybe kids like it or what. And my son likes the newer ones. I think. Well, he likes all of them, but he does enjoy the new ones. He doesn't hate them as much as. And it's just different, right? It's better effects, right? You know, than the ones that we love. And he's 11, so it's different what he's getting out of it than we do, maybe. And I don't know. So I mean, I think there's probably a group of people that do love those newer movies or like them at least. The first one I thought was great because it was when it came out.
I had a lot of hope
when it came out. It was like this is just like the
Mhm.
other ones, right? In some ways, but it's better because they're really making those stormtroopers look pretty cool and all of these things that happen. But then it's like they started this pattern of let's just repeat everything that's ever happened in Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, and with the last one, Exegol looks so cool, and it was just amazing what they were doing. But you're just like, doesn't really make any sense. And then to kill off Kylo Ren or Ben at that point, like my wife was like, yeah, spoilers. My wife was so upset. She was like, she's a casual Star Wars fan. She's seen them all. She's supportive, but like she liked the first one a lot, or of the newest ones. And then the second one, she was like, it was entertaining enough. It was weird, but it was entertaining. And she was loving the last one. And then he died and she got up. I was like, she will not watch the last 20 minutes of that movie. Hates it. She's like, up here it's different.
Only he lived and was shirtless more.
Yes. But the director's cut and everything, all the rumors is that he did live in one of the versions, and the Kathleen Kennedy comes in.
Lives happily ever after.
Yep.
Multiverse going on. It could work.
It could.
Hey,
it would be
happened.
cool
It happened in Rebels.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he happened into a room with an owl, and Ahsoka saved him.
I'm still in my mind, those sequels are in a different timeline, like in Rebels or whatever, different thing.
Multiverse.
And that, multiverse or whatever. Because Rebels, if you have seen Rebels, Ahsoka goes to this door, anyways. So I'm hoping that when the Ahsoka show comes out, that this will be confirmed. This really isn't a separate multiverse.
How incredible would that be?
It would be so awesome.
And then they bring back like legend stuff.
Yes.
They could save everything.
They could.
And keep everything in the parks that they've got.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to redo anything. The movies are still there. The merchandising's still there. And then all of us that spend way too much money on toys are going to buy even more because they're going to make it right. And then they could put out 3 more movies.
I know. They should do this, but they won't probably because people will be confused. And
people are already confused. You say Rebels to people that like, I love when people are like, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I'm like, yeah, like, what'd you think like in Rebels, like with Ezra? And they're like, what's Rebels? And I'm like, okay. Well, how about like the last season of Clone Wars? Wasn't that like some of the best Star Wars stuff we've ever gotten? Like the movie? No. No. You're a Star Wars fan? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you disgust me, sir.
It's like going to Bonnaroo and asking like people there, like, "Hey, are you a fan?" And then make up some band name. Oh, I love them. They're so great. Like,
yeah.
Stop.
Just Bonnaroo.
My son has watched all the original movies, and then he watched the prequels. He watched the first 2 prequels, and then I said, "Okay, now," because he said, "What's the next movie?" I'm like, "Well, before we watch the next movie, we have to watch Clone Wars." So we watched, and he's 7 years old. So we finished Clone Wars, and then we watched Bad Batch, and he fell in love with the Bad Batch. He loves it. That's all he talks about is the Bad Batch. And then we watched episode 3, and he loved that. And he said, what's next? What else is there? And I said, oh, there's no more movies.
We need to go back to the old specials. I can't believe that Disney Plus put those really bad.
Yeah.
I've never finished any of them. They're so bad.
But I'm excited to show them Rebels because Rebels is my favorite animated thing.
I
that's
love
good.
Rebels. Now I've got to ask, how do you guys feel about Solo?
I like
Yeah,
Solo.
I liked it.
I enjoyed it early.
I was entertained by it. It's not my favorite, but it was a fun kind of summer ride.
I wanted a 2. I wanted a Solo 2. I
Darth
wanted
Maul.
to see it continue. Yeah, with Darth Maul and everything. I liked it.
I thought that would be a spin-off for sure.
Yeah, thought it would. Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, because after the third director, and I didn't even see it in theaters. And it came out, and I watched it the first time. I'm like, yeah, it was, ugh. And then I watched it again. And I was like, wait, is this movie good? and then I watched it again, and I was like, this movie's good.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. I love this movie. It's got flaws like every Star Wars movie, but like I love it.
Do you think it would have, if it came out before Last Jedi or even before Force Awakens, how do you think it would have been received?
I don't know.
Because I think when it came out is what hurt it. It came out after Last Jedi, and everybody was mad about that. And then a new Star Wars movie comes in, and they're like, "I'm not going to go see it."
I think had it come out after like The Mandalorian, I think it would have done really well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think placement was why. I love it. I think it's a great movie.
I think it'd be awesome if they did a second season of Obi-Wan and they brought in Emilia Clarke's character.
Well, I think they're going to do a second season. Like they opened the door with Qui-Gon, like saying you've got a lot to learn or whatever. Like, but we're doing it again. We're doing this.
Yeah, but yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson's got to come back.
He wants to. He said he was
begging him.
Yeah, he was asking, was it Bryce Dallas Howard to bring him back? But I don't know. I thought Emilia Clarke's character and like delving into like the underworld in like an Obi-Wan season 2, and you could bring in the Darth Maul thing, but they don't meet because they can't meet until
because of
Rebels.
Yeah.
But that would kind of connect it, though. I thought that'd be fun.
I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Get on that, Chris.
All right.
Your people.
Yeah, I think that would be a smart move for them.
We shall see. Andor will be out soon, and that's like 12 episodes. Is that what I heard? Something crazy?
On that season, though? I was thinking about that the other day. Because you...
Or maybe it's 2
Yeah,
seasons.
that's
Probably going to be 2 seasons.
6
is like their special number.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And then somebody said there's going to be 12 episodes. I'm like, wait a second.
Well, actually, on IMDb, it lists 12 episodes for season 1.
Wow.
And 12 episodes for season 2.
What? They're all going to be 15 minutes long, though.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the episode?
Could be 20-minute long episodes.
Which I wouldn't
would be a waste, right?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I'm Andor, and that's it.
I don't really even care to see the series. Like, I think it'll be okay, and I hope it proves me wrong. But I'm kind of like, there's a lot of other things that they could have done. I agree with Emilia Clarke. That would have been that'd been a big money maker.
Will be good. I think it's going to be different. It's going to be more along the lines of Rogue One, sort of that style. I think.
Sad,
depressing.
What I like.
It'll be good. All right, I don't even know how long we've been talking since I don't have the timer up here.
I'm like an hour.
Oh wow! Well, we should probably wrap it up. But we could talk all night because this is it's fun. But Derek, thank you for coming on. Derek. Sorry.
No, thank you guys for having me. This is a blast. I love it.
And you're welcome back anytime. If you have Thursday night, you're bored.
Whenever you want. I'm always happy to do it.
It's like, okay, see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Fine.
Next Thursday we'll be leading into Comic Palooza, so I'm not sure what we'll be up to. doing, but
I'm actually traveling for work next Thursday.
oh well, we cancel.
Ah.
No, I geek next week.
I mean, I could still do it. I'll be at the hotel at that point.
No.
I can travel. I do it a lot.
Well, thank you for coming on. And then next weekend we'll be at Comic Palooza. So make sure you check out. I'm sure we'll have stuff on our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, because we're big TikTokers. We're trying. I haven't put out a video in a while, but maybe we'll do some TikToks at Comic Palooza. Because Chris, your TikTok, yours that you put on there is getting all the likes. I don't know if you've noticed this.
Doubt that, but
no, it is. I'll get on there, and it's all these random ladies liking your video.
Oh well.
All right.
Keep getting notifications, and I'm like, "What's this?" It's probably a bot, but you know.
don't tell the wife.
She made 9 accounts.
It's just me. I'm making a ton of accounts and going on there and liking it. Yeah.
Like how dare my brother have more likes than me?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, thank you, good Derek. And this has been episode 200. Well, before we go, sorry, where can people find you? Because I always say that.
Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, it's thederekfrank.com. That'll give you all my links. But any social media, it's the Derek Frank. My YouTube is my big focus now. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm pretty accessible.
Sweet. Well, check him out. Check out all his stuff, and he'll be back. We'll get him back, and we'll bash some more stuff that we love.
I think we were pretty fair.
Oh, we were fair.
I think we were fair.
Anyways, this has been episode 243 of I Am Geek, and we'll see you next week with something new, something fun, and of course, something geeky.
What?
I think, are we still on
We're
YouTube?
still on
or
YouTube.
are we
Yeah.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for joining us tonight. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
YouTube, thanks for joining us tonight. And
Facebook
thanks
too.
for hanging out. Facebook, too.
We got a viewer there. Got 5 on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Out of sight. 5 likes. Too.
Big time.
Big time. Most of those views come afterward. The only time we had this place full was when we had the Ronnie McDowell.
Oh,
so that was a lot of fun. That was right there when we started doing a lot of YouTube though, because pandemic, and that was a lot of fun. We did that one during the day too.
Yeah. All right, YouTube, we're gonna sign off, and then we're gonna look at all the guitars in Derek's.
I'm gonna switch cameras and show everybody. I'm gonna try to make it actually work this time. Let's see if I can actually do that. No, it just pulls up settings. I don't know why it won't like stay.
Bye, YouTube and Facebook.
Bye.
Yeah.